Great. Here we go. Ways to go. It's a challenge as a frequent traveler for business purposes. I always find it difficult getting into a city, having multiple meetings. How do I actually best get around in that location? And it's the same thing for people coming into San Francisco Airport, having a couple of meetings in San Francisco, then having to go down to San Jose. How do they best manage to do that? Do they get on a rental car? Do they take public transport? How do they organize their travel? If you want to optimize that, you can spend countless hours trying to do that. And that is what Ways to Go does. Ways to Go is the solution that allows to combine multiple modes of transportation and optimize that, either for cost or for time. So what we have set up is an application that already today, and we started just yesterday, includes rental cars, public transport, taxis, and walking. And what we would like to do is to demo that. So if we show that on that side, we have the online application on the iOS base. So the customer enters his locations where he wants to go, and then the application optimizes according either to the preference of time or for cost. Okay? That's one version. And we also have the web version. So you have multiple locations you want to go to. You list them all up in one itinerary, which you could in a later stage also pull from your calendar. Add the last location, click on optimize. Okay? Enter and then go to optimize. And there it comes up, what is the fastest way to get around? And what is the fastest way and the least, or the best cost-efficient way to get around?
What kind of algorithms are you using just choosing to optimize?
It's a pretty complex algorithm already in the way that we are measuring times and cost for travel. And part of that is actually we calculate the fuel efficiencies of cars and the cost of cars, put that into, calculate parking cost, put that into the algorithm, and they combine that with what is the time and cost of public transport combined with, for example, taxi. So you can take a train down to San Jose, but then look on the location you have to actually jump into a taxi, adds up to the cost. You have to go back. So what is actually more cost efficient on any single trip?
So you should drop.
And
if I look at this and I said you drop, so if it was by taxi, so my optimal deal was by taxi from hotel to wherever and all that, and you dropped in there the taxi services that place, phone numbers, making this really easy for somebody to do.
Yeah.
If it's by a rental car in downtown New York, right, and what's the local Hertz, and how do I get there and walk to it, right?
Yeah.
So
Hertz API is used to pull up
Right.
Hertz data.
Right,
We have-
so you got to make it easy to use that as transportation, right? You
Yes.
gotta make it seamless, right?
Yes.
I
We
mean,
have
in
integrated-
terms of the rental, like you can pre-plan that. Like if you're gonna be like a whole day in San Francisco, we can actually calculate how much it will cost you to get the car, how much is a parking lot in the location you're gonna be, and then since we have the MPG for the car, we can actually calculate by the distance how much it will cost you that day to rent that car.
Right.
This is one output. And also we can get the public transportation and taxis, and then the user can decide which one is the best one.
Right, no, but my point was thinking about just taking this and making an entire experience a user-friendly productivity tool for the business guy, which it says, I get the res widget, I know you should save me money by, this is what I should do, right? And then the res widget, so I can make the reservation for that at the the location that's closest, or a reservation with the taxi service that I need to use that morning, right? And that kind of stuff.
No,
It becomes an entire booking engine.
Yes.
Right, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely. That is a revenue model, actually.
Yeah.
Becoming a booking model, driving the revenue through passing on referrals and commission fees. And then branching out into other areas, flight travel, hotel, dining, and so forth. All of that can be added during the phases of development.
under the cost optimized, so it was $120 for the first rental, but then smaller numbers for the second and
Yeah.
third? Is that just add-on?
Because
or-
exactly.
Okay.
The incremental steps is not a new rental. The incremental steps is just gasoline you're burning on that
Okay.
trip from one location to the other.
So obviously, you only had a very short amount of time, but obviously it might be good to at some point label that with little graphic icons,
Yes.
you know.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
Again, it was an idea
gave you a
yesterday
lot
at
of time for
4, and that is overnight.
Yeah, we spent a significant amount of time saying, okay, which of these things can, which are
we
the
do?
most important to let someone make the decision, and what can we kind of just do behind the scenes for them?
Could you make this two-way and like allow Hertz to bid on?
Sorry, say again?
Make it two-way
Yep.
for Hertz to bid on, like a price line.
That's another part that can actually happen. If you figure out that Hertz is extremely close to another mode of transportation, say it's integrated into your platform, and there is like $2 difference, Hertz could think about
And they have inventory.
doing it.
I was going a
If you
different
want
way.
to,
I was going a
it's not
different way.
necessary.
Hertz is exclusive. You don't let anybody else in.
You actually don't have to tell anyone that you're bidding on it. It just shows the cheapest solution, including gasoline, for example.
And the Never Lost API also would be a good way to integrate with Hertz, because then you can punch it in there and you just get the card and that's it.
Yeah.
You-
The
it tells you where to go.
important part, which I would like to point out, Hertz, the Hertz API, Never Lost API, and the VoiceCraft API, API are already included, and other things need to be included. Again, 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.